Hey guys, MWCW here. Uh, as far as multiplayer is concerned, you need a couple of items. You need to make sure that you have the T3 Scheduler, his latest version, which is right here. You make sure you have this installed or running or something. So let's say I want to create a file for multiplayer for let's say I want to do Heathrow tonight with someone's son. Basically, right now the problem with multiplayer is that a lot of people see not compatible and they think that the game won't work. It will work as long as everybody's file is named the same, regardless of it saying not compatible or compatible. Basically, why it's saying it's not compatible is because it's trying to read an airplane set that isn't there for said file. So basically, what someone said and I do, is we'll create our schedule in here, and we'll just put it into the Energies Design folder. One thing that we'll do though is that we'll sit here, we'll click on this little more button right here, and we'll click the drop down, recreate a backup files from the current schedule in the current folder. I'm not going to do that right now because I've already done this and everything because I've already created a schedule and stuff. So, but you want to click on this, and then you want to click on the execute, because then it creates the backup directory for you. So you have all the original files, all the original terminal files, and all that Energies Design has put their heart and soul into. So we're going to do right now, read current schedule. This is what's currently in the database. Current schedule will become the base of any generated schedule until you read the original schedule. Are you sure? So with this already being a created schedule, I'm going to click no. I want to go and see what Energies Design has done. So we're going to click on this, and this is their schedule for Heathrow. Let me maximize this a little bit. So I guess you could say this is a little bit of a T3 tutorial or T3 schedule tutorial and stuff like that. I'll put the link to his scheduler in the description below. But this is the best thing that you want to do, and this has like been the way around any kind of like multiplayer problems. Is that okay? We want to create a schedule. Let's say we want to create a 2-hour shift. We want to run it at, let's just say, midnight. Alright, we want variable number of flights and everything. 88 flights per hour, 1 GA flight. Normally, someone, son, and I, we bump this through the roof 90% of the time and drive ourselves crazy. If you ever seen my live stream, you would know. But we're going to do 45% randomization on arrival and departures. And then we're going to generate new schedule. And now we're going to hit plot new schedule, because you see the graph is still currently reading as the original. So we're going to click on plot new, and there's our new schedule for a 2-hour shift. So now that schedule, terminal, and GA files are all in the Energies Design. So now all you got to do from here is just basically when you meet up with your buddies, instead of handing them a whole entire folder, just go in here and you're going to just click Control, GA, Schedule, and Terminal. If you did change the terminal file. If you did like what I just did, you don't have to change that at all because it's basically randomizing the stuff that was already on the Energies design. You just send over the GA and the schedule, they put it in, and away you guys go. If you do have a custom frequency, I know there's some people out there that are really good at creating the frequency file and stuff. So if they have like another ground or tower north, tower south, because basically tower north will be taking care of one runway as tower south will be taking care of another. And then you'll have two grounds. You'll have a north ground. I guess we can say technically a north ground and a south ground. But, basically if the frequency files have changed and you're trying to do four to a 6-player game, then just make sure that you have the correct frequency numbers. And I believe that's it, actually. That's all you really need. Now, this will be like the one headache for a lot of people. I'm going to try to learn and just post up frequency files for 4-player. If I can get them. Now, some maps I'm only going to leave it as a 2-player. Because there's no reason for it to be a 4-player. RDU is one of them. There's no reason for it to be. LaGuardia is another. There's no reason for it to be a north and south ground. Even though some people, what they'll do is they'll try to emulate, with LGA specifically, they'll try to emulate ramp control. I've seen a frequency file like that. And I thought it was pretty interesting. Because basically you have what they would call a dead frequency, or what I think the game would consider as a dead frequency. Even though that you put in like ground, blah, 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 that specific ground doesn't really do much of anything. Basically, he just gives them taxi instructions and hands them off to the tower. So a lot of times you'll see, let's just say Delta 123, pushback approve, expect runway 31. Okay, plane's pushed back. He's called up, saying that he's ready for taxi. That ramp controller then will either do one of two things. Either give him over to the next ground controller to taxi them in or out, or they'll pretty much just say runway 31, hold short of taxiway Alpha. If they're coming out of, I believe it's the terminals D and E. Hold short of taxiway Alpha. Plane holds short. As soon as he sees him holding short of taxiway Alpha, he'll send him over to the next ground controller, and they'll get them on their way to the runway. I've seen a 3-player file like that. Like I said, I thought that was really interesting. But yep, just make sure that the frequency files, the GA and schedule and terminals are all the same. You don't need to put them into anything. You just need to copy them over, send them through Discord or whatever. Discord can hold the files because they're not all that big. They're only 3 kilobytes, 1 kilobyte, 7 kilobyte, and 1 kilobyte for frequency. So you don't have any issue whatsoever with multiplayer. It's all going into the energy design folder. Just remember to make a backup of all the original files. That way, when you do change any of this, you could just immediately go to your backup or go back into the T3 Scheduler even and just click restore on that more button. It'll restore everything back to normal here. I'm going to probably stream here in about maybe like 15-20 minutes after I get done eating my breakfast, and catch y'all later. I hope that clarifies some things.